Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 4th. This is part 2 of your reading. This right here is part 1. And if you haven't watched part 1 yet, it is linked up in the description down below. We're just going to clarify through here. With that Sacred Ibis card, you have this Tarantula card. It says connection on it. I feel like this is more talking about connections that you're making between multiple things in your life. It's like you're noticing the connection. Remember in your first reading, it was kind of all about like dreaming your world into being with that lizard spirit card, or, you know, kind of creating the world that you desire to create. I feel like you're noticing the connection. Remember, I said that it's almost like you're looking back on your life and you're noticing the things that were consistent. Like if your whole entire life you have consistently thought about writing a book, then I feel like you're going to be writing a book. If you've thought about starting a YouTube channel for like 10 years in a row, maybe you're finally going to do it. This reading gives me those feelings. If you've thought about like having a family, it could be anything. I don't think it's one thing or the other. I feel like you're just noticing the connection between the fact that your thoughts have always been consistent, even though there have been periods of time maybe where you've thought about other things or you've done other projects or done different things. It's like, I don't want to use the word, like, I don't think you're settling as in you're just settling to settle. I feel like you're finally settling on something in the sense that it's like you finally know what to do, if that makes sense. With the Strength card and the Ace of Cups here, you have the 8 of Wands. I'm actually just going to go straight down. So with the Strength card, you have the 8 of Wands. 8 of Wands is quick communication, and there's clearly news coming in for you. You have that bird on the way card, or whatever it was, bird flying at the end, and it just says news on the way. 8 of Wands is kind of news. You have the Judgment card, which can also be communication. You have the Knight of Swords here as well. So there's a lot going on here as far as communication is concerned. I feel like this communication that's coming in for you is something motivating. The way to think about the 8 of Wands is it is a lot of momentum. It's like one of those cards that can push you forward, and that's the type of communication that I believe is coming in for you, is something that motivates you, something that improves your life, something that makes you want to put work into something. And you have the Ace of Wands as well, which is very inspiring. You have a lot of inspiring energy here. Ace of Wands, the Star, the Judgment card is like feeling awakened to do something, feeling inspired to do something. So I would trust your inspirations at this time. With the Knight of Swords, you have the King of Pentacles. It's like exactly what I said on the Knight of Swords in the first place. Looking to the past, I feel like the King of Pentacles is really just saying that you're thinking like things would always be the same. It's like sometimes I think we live a nightmare. It doesn't even have to be that big of a deal, right? It doesn't even have to be that big of a nightmare, but we could be living a nightmare. We could think things are never going to change. Things are always going to be like this. And I feel like this is saying, no, things are not always going to be like this. Things are going to change. With the Ace of Wands, you have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, it's like one last shot. Exactly what I've been saying. I mean, you know, like I said, I feel like some of you are revisiting an old idea, and it's like you're giving it one last try. He has the 8 wands behind him, and he's holding on to the last wand here. It's like, how crazy is this? You have the 8 of Wands, and you have the Ace of Wands. You could say that behind him is the 8 of Wands. He's holding on to the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands and the 9 of Wands, the wand that he's holding on to, how many times can I say the word wands, right? That could be his reason why, you know, the reason why he's doing something. I've been quoting Les Brown. I've been channeling my inner Les Brown lately quite a bit because I love him. And he has a famous speech where he talks about your reason why being your rod and your staff that comforts you when you're kind of like trying to accomplish something. That's what that looks like to me. It looks like he's using his reason why to hold him up here, Pisces. I kind of feel like this is the energy that you're coming off of. You know, it's like you're finally, maybe you're no longer having to lean on an energy or lean on something. With the Lizard Spirit, you have the Crow Spirit. This card says co-create with Spirit. It's like a tongue twister, this card, or at least it is for me, but I feel like it is definitely a time of co-creation. I've been talking about this for like 2 years now, that we are leaving the time of competition and we're entering into co-creation. And so this could be co-creating with spirit, but it could also be co-creating with people here on Earth, of course. And I'm definitely a big fan of that. Again, as I always say, nothing ever is truly ever going to go away 100%. So it's like there will still be competition. There will still be competition that exists. But I just think what I mean by the fact that we're entering into this time of co-creation, there will still be competition, but it's like if you want to be super successful at anything, love, business, money, spirituality, health, co-creation is going to be like 10 times more successful. So I would be looking for opportunities to like work together with other people. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Wheel of Fortune. I do feel there is a change in your love life here. I kind of feel like you're taking more control of your love life. The Wheel of Fortune is kind of a card of control. You only have one card of control here, like a true card of control, and that is the Strength card. The Strength card is a card of soft control. It's a card of not really... It's kind of like a card of more passive control. The Chariot is a card of hard control, meaning you're like taking control of something. The Wheel of Fortune, we control with our vibrations. We control with our thoughts and kind of the direction we think our life is going. We also don't allow things to just happen to us with the Wheel of Fortune when it's showing up in a positive position, which again, is showing up positively here. So it's like we don't allow ourselves to be a victim with the Wheel of Fortune when it shows up in the positive. And that's kind of what I feel for you. It's like I feel things are always going to happen in life, but it's like you're kind of taking more of a centered, grounded approach to the things that are happening for you. Definitely changing your love life. Let's see if we can figure that one out. Here you go. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Ten of Cups. Fortune after difficulty could be love entering into your life. So if you're looking for love, could be love. If you're not looking for love, again, Ten of Cups is your dreams. You have that lizard spirit in this row that says dream your world into being. And look, they have a rainbow with these cups there. They might be imagining that rainbow with the cups. That might not actually be real. We don't know, right? So, it could be real, might not be real. They could be imagining it. They might be dreaming it. The whole point of the Ten of Cups is the fact that they still have to deal with all the problems of the world, but they're choosing to focus on happiness. They're choosing to have a celebration. The family is celebrating on this card. So they're choosing that even no matter what is going on around them. So I feel like choosing a celebration, number one, keeping it positive is a good idea, but also gives me fortune after difficulty vibes. With the Fool, you have the Seven of Swords. Again, I feel like this is talking about, like we talked about in the first reading, I do feel there is just like, there's no plan, there's no, I feel like there's a general lack of guidance for you. And I don't mean this, I don't think this is a bad thing. I think it's like you're blazing your own trail. I feel like you are a trailblazer at this time, Pisces. To me, Pisces is very innovative. Again, everybody thinks of Aquarius as the innovator, and that's not wrong at all. But, Pisces is very good at innovating and coming up with new ideas and doing things differently. I feel like, on the Seven of Swords, he is stealing these swords from that army that's in the background. It's like instead of going to war, he's stealing a sword. So he's not clashing with the army head on. He's going to war in a different way. And that's kind of like what I feel like you're doing here, Pisces. It's like you're doing things differently. I feel like you need more fun in your life as well with that Seven of Swords. He has these polka dots on his cloak, and polka dots in the tarot represent needing to not take things so seriously. It doesn't mean that things aren't serious. Trust me, I always get a comment of someone saying, life is very serious. I'm like, okay, you need to definitely go play. You need to go do something because, no, it's not. Number one, it's not like that serious, right? Number two, what I would say here is that when we play, when we have fun, that's like when we get out of our head. Again, I think sometimes when we get to those zones, trust me, I was there for like at least 3 years, right? Where I thought life was extremely serious. I did nothing. I sat in my room and stewed for like 3 years. I tell a story all the time because I think it's very important because I wouldn't allow myself to do anything because it's like I was punishing myself for doing nothing. It's like this negative, feedback loop that I was in, right? And I feel that here with the Seven of Swords. How did I break out of it? I started going for walks. That was like the first thing I did. It's like when you do something, when you get the energy moving forward, you get out of your head. I started getting answers. My life improved like almost immediately. I think saying immediately would be a little bit of a stretch, but it was pretty darn quick that my life started to improve. Once I allowed fun, once I started going out and doing those things, right? So I feel like you need some more fun. With the bird flying and this moon card, you have the goldfish. Of course you do, Pisces. It says increase in material wealth and spiritual growth. Love it. You have this basket which says recognition, reward for merit. Again, I'm telling you right now, you've done a good job, Pisces, is what this is saying. The reason I feel like there's an increase in your wealth, again, it's interesting to me that this goldfish here, I love this card. It says increase in material wealth or spiritual growth. But again, sometimes I think when we do something spiritual, like the star card, the way I see this reading is the reward is coming because of the star card. The star card is inspiring other people, being an example, living example for other people. Like I said, I've been saying this for like months now, right? Intuitively at the beginning of the year, I was getting that the most spiritual thing that people can do is be an example for other people. Meaning, if you want to, break a poverty curse, if you want to go to school, maybe no one in your family has never been to school and you go to school. It's like, that is showing people what is possible. If you're doing something that is inspiring other people, then it's like you're getting these rewards, and there's still time. So if you haven't done anything yet, there's plenty of time to do something. And again, the basket is like saying you've done a good job, recognition for your merits. I love this for you, Pisces. I feel like this is very good. With the Judgment card, you have the Magician. Yep, you are definitely attracting things very quickly. Again, with the Wheel of Fortune twice, I would definitely be very careful of your vibrations. You know, he's pointing to the ground, so he's grounding something, but he's also got these flowers in front of him. The flowers kind of represent his focus. He chooses to focus on joy, on happiness, on, you know, good things, right? So I feel like you need to focus on the good things in life, obviously. With the Star, you have the Six of Cups. You have a lot of stuff coming up from the past. Again, I don't really do X-back readings, Pisces. I think we should just move on for the most part. But what I would say is if you had a positive relationship with a person, and as long as both people have improved themselves, then I don't see any problems with getting back together with a person. Again, I stopped saying don't go back to exes because, again, I think if both people have done the work, fine. But it's like if you're going back to a person, you're both still broken, or one person is still broken, it's not going to work, right? If the work hasn't been done by both people. So I think, you know, that's what I'd say here with the Six of Cups. You know, and again, I never do X-back readings, but Wheel of Fortune twice, Judgment is the only card in the deck that I consider potentially an X-back card. Wheel of Fortune is a good card, but it also says don't repeat a cycle, right? So, you know, the Wheel of Fortune can represent X coming back, but I always say, you know, not really a good card to go back to an X on, because usually you just repeat a cycle with the Wheel of Fortune. But what I would say is that this looks pretty good as long as people have done the work, like I said. For all of you, really, the Six of Cups is a gift from the universe. It's forward progress. In your first reading, we were talking all about Uranus in your second, how you probably were like on a treadmill. It's almost like you're making progress even though it doesn't feel like it. I use the example of it's almost like you climb to the top of the mountain only to find yourself at the bottom. It's like once you reach the peak, you'd find yourself at the bottom. And I feel like this happened to you many times while Uranus was in your second house over the past, like, you know, basically it left like 2 or 3 years ago. Now it's in your third house, depending on when you were born, but it was there for 8 years. So now the Six of Cups represents, you know, a gift from the universe, which is forward progress. I love it. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Emperor, a plan. Holy crap, I love it. Because, you know, here's what I'll say, Pisces, is that in your first reading, we were saying it's almost like you don't have a plan. Now I feel like you have a plan. I feel like this is something you're developing, but you're developing it on your own, you know? So again, there is no plan in the first part of your reading. I really feel this is talking about the future. It's almost like you're building something, but there is no, you know, like I said, there's no guide for you to follow. I feel like the Emperor is saying you're creating the guide. You're creating the example that everyone can follow. So pretty powerful stuff, Pisces. I like this. This is a significant change in your life. And no clickbait. I mean, Wheel of Fortune twice, you know, the Star, these are extremely powerful cards, Judgment, and the Magician, very positive new beginning. So I love this reading for you, Pisces. We're looking really good. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your Sun, Moon, and Rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.